Talisman Digital Edition has 1 to 6 players fighting monsters and each other, collecting items and spells, and racing to cast the ultimate spell. Nomad Games provide an Xbox key in exchange for an honest review. Players roll dice to move. Depending on the space you land on, you'll be able to resolve certain actions. Heal lives by playing the Doctors in Gold, gamble at the tavern, or simply draw cards. If you land on a space with another player, you can attack or use a spell. Roll and add the number to your strength, plus modifiers from weapons, and so on. Some characters, Warrior for example, have different rules, but this is the general idea. Anyhow, you win if your attack score is higher. If you lose a life. Your turn ends in a draw. To access the middle region, you must defeat the Sentinel. You probably don't want to do this on your first turn. The same goes for advancing inward on the map. There are other ways to cross the river, but I don't want to spoil them. If you reach the Crown of Command in the inner region, you can now cast command spells to eliminate your opponents. To reach it, you'll need to find a talisman to cross the Plane of Peril. There are specific rules depending on your character, there are built-in house rules you can activate to change things up a bit, and then there are over a dozen DLC expansions, some of which add more house rules in addition to more characters, boards, cards, and so on. Roll dice, fight, grab loot, and cast spells. That's Talisman Digital Edition. If you were to use the time on the physical game box, Talisman Digital Edition's time to play is very inaccurate. When I played with my friend Ariel, our game took over 3 hours. I'll touch on this more later, but I wish more of the house rules were available at the start so that the second half of the game went quicker. On the other hand, our second game was only around 100 minutes. This may be an old school video version of a board game, but you might want to save this for weekends. I think this works better with fewer players. The computer can quickly take their turns and then it's back to you again. Young players may be bored. This is especially true with more players. These issues are solved on the Xbox Series X or S thanks to its quick resume feature. Play for 30 minutes, then step away for a day or two. Because this isn't a narrative game, you don't have to worry much about, okay, what happened again? My friend Ariel joined me for my first game of Talisman Digital Edition. We had progressed well, and my wizard had 10 craft, 7 strength, and I was racking up the gold. I had attacked the Sentinel and failed once, but felt confident in giving it another go. This time, it was no match for my skills. Pushing forward, I met a tiny little imp. Cute. Little did I know that he would soon make me very angry by pushing me all the way back to the tavern. I was so mad. When I challenged the Sentinel again, I died. That cost me all of my gear, strength, and craft, and Ariel pulled ahead. Talisman Digital Edition's rules are not complicated, and the excellent tutorials, help pop-ups, and other tips have you rolling in no time. Speaking of time, let's get that out of the way. This game is a lot longer than it should be. If it was 60 minutes and the last 15, even 30 with a bunch of players, was the race to stop a player from commanding you all out of existence, it wouldn't be that bad. For something so simple and random though, it's just too long. I mentioned it earlier, and I'm really thankful for the Xbox Series X's quick resume feature. If we were at our table and talismaned out, we'd have to leave it overnight, and that's not possible for everyone, especially families who play at their dinner table. Here, you can take a break when the first player reaches a new region and pick things up again the next day or whenever. The zoom helps spotting your mini in a crowd or whenever you want to admire the art. The controls in general are good, and the app is solid. The Fate feature and cards allow some mitigation, but the game is high luck and tactics. If you prefer to be in total control, this won't be one for you. I mean, it's almost 40 years old, so a lot of modern and mitigating mechanisms aren't here. With that said, the game still captures the feeling of traveling, hunting for loot and items, and building toward a finale. I love role-playing games. We've been playing our D&D campaign for close to 6 years now, and depending on when this goes live, you may have already seen my review of Destinies. That's basically a modern Talisman. This is a nasty game. You'll be assassinated and bashed, and possibly zapped out of existence. I mean, you're all racing for the same thing, so there's no room for friendship. Again, that's something to be aware of. I went into Talisman Digital Edition blind. I heard of Talisman, but couldn't even remember what it was about. With my illness and COVID and everything keeping me at home, Nomad Games surprised me with a key for this. We have a bunch of their games on our phones, and they did a brilliant job on AEG's Cat Lady, which I reviewed in February of 2020, so I expected good things. As you can see, I wasn't disappointed. While Talisman isn't necessarily the type of game I'd ask to play, I had a good time with it. This was made easier because of the excellent introduction to the controls and mechanisms through the tutorials. Do I recommend it? Well, if you have an Xbox and you enjoy the physical game, $15 seems like a fair price for what the base game offers. If you're on the fence or know nothing about Talisman, hopefully this video helped you out.